If you're still waiting for spring to arrive just like I am, these decor ideas will offer the perfect inspiration to brighten your home until the sunshine finally returns. Hey there, my name is Sandra, and you're watching The Schwowin's Nest. I found these two adorable bunnies at my local Dollarama store, which would be similar to a Dollar Tree that has items up to $5. Each of these bunnies was $3. They're ceramic and they come in 3 different styles. I've already painted one brown in the background, and this one is going to be a dark tan. I wanted them to be more neutral to fit into any style of decor, yet still be a beautiful spring accent. I'm trying a new technique that I've only done one other time for Christmas ornaments, but I see this style of bunny in a lot of bright spring colors in stores, including Dollar Tree. It's a simple flocking method that uses ingredients you probably have at home already. Once you've put on the second coat of paint, before it's dry, shake on some baking soda. You'll want to apply a lot and let it sit until the paint is completely dry. I usually leave them overnight. With figurines like this, it's a bit tricky to get the soda on all of the parts, so I would recommend using something that you could put into the hole at the bottom of the ceramic bunny so it can be moved around while applying the soda. I ended up having to pick up the bunny and turn it, and that resulted in some of the paint coming off onto my fingers. It's not a big deal because I'll be able to fix it once the bunnies are dry, but just keep that in mind. The next day, I took a soft fan brush and lightly dusted off the baking soda. This left each bunny with a gorgeous flocked or suede texture that I just love. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of what other decor pieces could be flocked this way. It's a quick and easy technique that doesn't take a lot of time or materials. Speaking of new craft techniques, have you ever wanted to expand your creativity by learning how to do something new, such as baking bread, knitting a sweater, quilting a blanket, or even improving your skills with power tools? Then you'll definitely want to see what Craftsy has to offer, who is the sponsor of today's video. Create artisan bread in minutes with Zoe Francois, or knit in wild color with Stack Stitches by Zandy Peters. Or maybe you're like me and you have a power tool that you know can be used more effectively, so learning advanced table saw skills with George Vondriska is the perfect choice. Wherever you want your creativity to go, Craftsy is undoubtedly the best place to gain new skills and grow the ones you already have. I recently watched a video by Kateri Ewing and learned how easy it is to manipulate a paintbrush to create different stroke shapes and styles that can be easily applied to any project. Craftsy's instructional videos are taught by talented and friendly experts, giving you step-by-step demonstrations that are easy to follow. And as a Craftsy member, you'll also have access to live streaming tutorials where instructors share their tips and answer your questions. The first 1,000 people watching this video to use the link in my description box will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. This offer is valid for new members only. I'm so excited to keep learning and growing my skills with Craftsy. So if you're ready to take advantage of the many classes that are available, now is your chance. One of my favorite colors to use for spring projects is Conservatory by Fusion. It's a chalk mineral paint that includes a primer and top coat and gives superior coverage with just one coat. This frame was in desperate need of a makeover, and you guys loved my recent Swan charger plate, so I thought I would give you another version of it. I've got this wood accent piece that I purchased from Temu, and I've painted it the same green, and now it's going to get glued with some weld bond glue and hot glue to the top of the frame. These pieces are a great alternative to using clay or resin with molds. I'll see if I can find the link to some on Amazon, and I'll put them in my Amazon store for you. I kept the glass and cardboard backing for the frame, and to keep it all in place, I'm going to use hot glue. This frame didn't have any staples on the back because I had removed them before when I was going to use it for a different project. This swan print is from Creative Fabrica. It's a bit different than the previous one I used, and this time I added a script pattern on the back of it, along with a border around the swan to make it look matted. Now it's as simple as putting it all together. Hot glue was still a bit warm, so I was able to press the print into it. Then just added the backing with a bit more hot glue to keep that in place as well. I really like the look of vintage or antique decor, and adding a bit of gilding wax in bronze to the applique plus the inside trim of the frame was just the right amount to make it look aged. I've added a set of 6 swan prints with different colors and backgrounds on my Etsy shop. The link is down in my description box. I never pass up these small wood ovals and round pieces at thrift shops. They make the best risers. This one was $2.99, and I'm going to upcycle it using half round beads and some little wooden legs. I've seen lots of high end stores that have beads on trays and risers, but I decided to put mine on the bottom this time to make it more unique. A permanent glue like Weld Bond is best for adding little pieces to larger ones. These wooden legs are actually people figurines. I have a local woodcraft shop where I find all sorts of great pieces for feet. So don't be. Sometimes I place out the beads first before starting to glue, which is the better plan. But this time I just put the glue down and went for it. This meant that some of the spaces were probably going to be a little off, and in the end, when I got to the last bead on each side in the center, I had to sand them down a bit in order to fit them in. There's always a bit of glue that seeps out around the beads, so using a small brush to wipe it off works great. Here's a view of where the last bead doesn't fit, and it will be the same on the other side. So I simply took my rotary tool with the sanding bit and sanded down the beads on each side until they were able to fit in. For a base coat, I'm using Ash by Fusion, which is a dark charcoal shade. And one coat is all it's going to need because I'll be doing something else on top. I'm so excited to show you a new product that I've never used before. This is Fusion Milk Paint, which is a powder that you mix with water. I love the fact that you can create as much or as little paint as you need, although I'm sure there will be a trial and error process until I figure out how much area the paint will cover. This shade is called Hotel Robe. It's a soft white with a bit of yellow in it. To mix it, you add 1 part of the powder to 1 part water, but if you want a thicker paint, you reduce the water a bit. The paint will also thicken a bit while it stands. I'm using a plastic knife to stir it, but I think I'm going to invest in one of those mini immersion whisks so it gets smoother. To apply the milk paint, it really doesn't matter what type of brush you use, but I felt that a smaller one would work better, and I was right. Starting on the bottom, I'll do 2 coats, then seal it with a clear spray sealer. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. 2 coats of the white milk paint and then a spray sealer on top. This is after the first coat is dry on the bottom, and I'm loving all the crackle that's showing up. Once it's completely dry, I'll use 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth it out. I don't want to take off any of the paint. I just want to get all of these little bumps out. Look at all those gorgeous crackles. What a simple and easy way to get an aged vintage look. This last project turned out really sweet. At first, I wanted to create a clay egg holder, but that just wasn't working out as planned. So I switched gears and used this egg carton and drywall compound to make it thicker, sturdier, and filled with lots of texture. I only did the top side of the carton, and in hindsight, I should have done mostly the bottom and around the top edges because once I put my eggs in, you really can't see the texture. Once it dried off, I sanded some of the points just to smooth it out a bit and then painted it with sage green chalk paint. Using DIXIE BELLE Bronze Gilding Wax, I added it mostly to the top of the carton, going down about a third of the way. Then for the bottom portion, I just dragged the brush along the edges. I didn't want to get full coverage here. It was more of a dry brush look that I was going for. I filled the carton with bits of Spanish moss, then added these gold and bronze speckled eggs I got last year from Dollarama. They had a string hanger on the top, which still showed, so I decided to put them in upside down for a fun look. I hope you enjoyed these spring decor DIYs that got me using some new and different techniques for a high-end look on a budget. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate all of your support. Bye for now.